remember the little woman that gave her last 2 little coins into the treasury? Jesus was watching. And, you know, your natural human instinct is like, this lady was poor. I mean, she only had her last little bit there, and she gave it, and Jesus watched her, and he let her do it. Do you think about that? And I thought, Lord, you know, my natural instinct would say, oh, no, don't, just stop. You know, we had somebody give us a seed recently, and they handed us a gift. And I'll tell you, I knew that person's story. I was like, and right as they gave it, they went through a storm. I mean, and I'm telling you, it was a storm. And I thought, Lord, so I called that person on the phone, and I said, you know, thank you for your gift, but it's really hard for me to receive it right now. And that person came back and said, don't you dare get in the middle of my seed. And it touched me. And they had sent the seed days before their storm blew up. And I thought, Lord, you know, my heart was just undone. I'm like, I didn't want to receive the gift because I knew they were in the middle of a fight. And they said, you know, no, I had gotten up. This was days before this whole thing happened in their life. And they said, the Lord said, you send Pastor Hank and Brenda that gift. You send them a gift. And I felt the passion of God to do it. And I'm sharing this because when we give something to God, see, God knew. And she says, I know I've got a harvest on the other side of this storm. And I'm going to tell you within days, I already know the story, but within days, I'm just keep it vague. But within days of that, they already got testimony of how they had risen up out of the ashes. And it was so divine. And that person said to me, had I not had that seed that God demanded that I send, it might have had a different outcome. And I want to tell you, when you tithe and you give to God, He writes it down. He keeps it. When you have a willing heart, that's why He said He spoke to Moses, have them bring me an offering of a willing heart. And then God took ownership. He says, it's my offering. When you give to God, God owns it for you. He holds it for you. And it's going before you to drive out demons. It's going in advance of your trial, whatever that mountain is that you're facing when you're dealing with something. It's going ahead of you. It's working on your behalf.